So only on this issue of regulation and how complex it will be. So we know, like for example in telecommunications, the capture of regulators is something that happens every day. It's because of the capacity of the companies. And the same will happen in artificial intelligence. So I don't know if that's the solution or is something different to that, because the argument you will build in of the monopolies knowing exactly all the characteristics of that's when you have first-degree price discrimination, which is not the case of general monopolies. But the sunk cost of entry is the problem, and that's the capacity of the data that you are getting. So again, we need to think, I think, around that, because regulatory systems won't work. They will end being captured.
Yeah, but I completely agree, and this happens with all regulators presently, but still we have them. There are other possibilities. For example, the flight control system regulation is slightly different because you don't have an inspection body. You just have somebody with whom the Federal Aviation Administration, with which you file a declaration made by your expert. And the idea is that the damage is so big if you fail to comply with what you have declared, then you are not going to fail. But because we have just 2 manufacturers in the world, 2 providers, in the case of AI systems, we are going to need, in my opinion, we are going to need local authorities everywhere.
Okay, Armin? Mike?
Mike.
Okay. I'm very sympathetic with your view, of course, and always ready to discuss. But take, for instance, the AlphaGo 0, the basic algorithm of that. Monte Carlo tree search. This has not been invented in statistics, and it's not a statistical model in the usual sense.
Okay. That was a statement. Stefano? Other Stefano?
No, just to underline a couple of points. At a certain point you ask yourself what to maximize. It is obvious that such a question is begging itself, because to maximize, you already presuppose the existence of a function which should be continuous. And then, in this case, by definition, you cannot have a function. The very moment you have a functional function, you cannot maximize. So already we have to change our charter. Second remark, at the end of your presentation, you raised a point very important, the possible end of capitalism. And that is true. That is more serious than most people will consider. We might consider this problem in the workshop of this coming October. Because, as you know, today, the economies, network economies are much, much superior than economies of scale, because capitalism presupposes competition. Now, the new technologies, robots, et cetera, are destroying competition. And that is the end of capitalism. Most people are not realizing that. Of course, certain people who are very cunning, they are happy to do that. But the normal people who believe in values such as democracy, freedom, etc., that is, by the way, one way to interpret the present-day policies of a country like China.
Marcelo, you wanted to come back to earlier presentations, and anyone who wants to connect dots, start thinking. I open it up in a moment, also then in relation to our draft statement.